What up, people? Today, I'm going to tell you the truth about Sprint, the Sprint company. So, first and foremost, I've had Sprint back in the past for about 3 years. So, I know the service all too well. Long story short, it sucks. Sprint was the first to come out with 4G, if I'm not mistaken. They were the first on the scene with 4G towers, which was revolutionary. But the problem with being first is sometimes you'll be last. Because even though your towers were 4G first, everyone's seen how it was working. And then companies like T-Mobile, Verizon, they came in with updated 4G towers. So that way, you got that first application, you think it's the bomb, but then there's glitches. So these other companies seen what those glitches were. Then they corrected what Sprint should have corrected, but Sprint was already too deep in pushing forward the 4G service. So if you've had Sprint, and I've had people tell me that they've had Sprint all their life and never had an issue. Which is, well, I've done tech support for Sprint for about 2.5 years, in addition to also being a customer with them. So I have run into people who have never had an issue until I talk to them, and it was like their first time having an issue with their Sprint service. So if anybody that has been with Sprint for a while, you know that the service, or some of those, the service is not the best. Let's just be honest. The service is subpar. It's not great. And the biggest thing that was holding Sprint back was the not being able to use your data while on a phone call. If you were to receive a picture message, or you needed to have a map up, like you're going to a location, but you're talking to someone on the phone, you would have to get off of that phone call just to get your data back. And that's if you were in a good area anyway. So I know if you had Sprint, you definitely know what that is. Now, Sprint they're doing a soft rollout. So some phones can get it. And this started back in like September 2019. So some phones like the S8s and up, they have the capability, if you do an update to your phone, you can then get the data while on the phone call, which was, Jesus, when did Sprint come over from Nextel? It was like 2000, so from 2000 to 2019, or you can use your data while on a phone call, which sucked, which is reason why a lot of people left. Or leaving Sprint, one of the many reasons. Now, here recently, I have been seeing a bunch of commercials from Sprint guaranteeing basically the world, and it's a con. If you've seen the guy that came over from Verizon, can you hear me now? He now does commercials for Sprint. And if you've seen any of the Sprint commercials, you know that they're talking about you can bring your service, you can switch over to Sprint, 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's a big whammy. And I say that because if you cancel your service, let's say you have Verizon, and you make the switch to Sprint with that 100% guarantee, if you don't like the service, we'll give you your money back. If you cancel your service with Verizon or any other carrier and come over to Sprint, and you're one of the many who doesn't like the service, or a lot of people who never had Sprint find out, but before this year, that they could not use their data while on the phone, and you're not happy with the Sprint service, you call up Sprint to cancel the contract. Who is now your cell phone provider? Because you just canceled